Olaf Scholz's rise to power may have its roots in his response to the COVID pandemic. As finance minister, as we were saying, he oversaw the government's measures to keep the economy afloat. His compensation plans were popular and they helped Germany avoid a deeper recession. Now he's going to have to build an international profile. When Richard spoke to him last year, he said he would put Germany at the heart of Europe's relations with the world.
Germany, especially being right in the center of the European Union, having the most, being the country with the biggest population and the strongest economic power, it is our task to work for this European progress to form, as you say, a better union.
Well, you got where I was going, Minister, obviously, but if you were Bundeschancellor Scholz, what would your message be to your counterpart, President Biden?
Let's work intensely on the question of a transatlantic partnership. Yes, there will be different views on certain questions between the European Union and the United States. This is nothing new. The more important question is whether we always understand that the solution must be the pragmatic search for compromise.
Christian Schulz is the European Director at Citigroup. He joins us from Frankfurt. Thank you so much for joining us. He doesn't have an international profile, does he? But just describe what his profile is like within Germany.
Well, he's been minister during two important crises. He was labor minister in Germany during the global financial crisis and now finance minister during the pandemic. So like Merkel, he can claim that he's managed crises, that he can protect Germany against the worst fallout of financial or other crises. But I think, as Fred Plotkin already said, he was kind of the last man standing as well. The candidates of the CDU-CSU was not good enough, and the Greens candidate, who was ahead in the polls as well, wasn't good enough. So Olaf Scholz was, in effect, the last man standing as well.
It means we don't have this left-wing alliance. That's the one sort of grouping, that one sort of result that would have had a big impact on German policy. So we're not going to see a big shift, are we, basically?
Yeah, I mean, talking to investors all day today, it's interesting. Outside Germany, many think what might have been, had there been a left-wing alliance, maybe Germany would have opened the purse strings, spent more to bring the economy, not just the German, but the European economy out of this big slump of the COVID crisis, and perhaps alleviate the burden on the European Central Bank a little bit. And inside Germany, many people are just happy, many investors are happy that it wasn't the left-wing alliance, which would have raised taxes, regulated the labor market, and brought all these other regulations for the environment and so on. So it's a bit of a divided picture on that left-wing alliance in particular.
Obviously, in recent years, recent decades, these smaller parties have got more and more powerful and had a better showing, haven't they, in the elections? But you note, interestingly, that the Grand Coalition is still very much alive. In a way, it's been strengthened by the fact that none of these smaller groups have reached a critical mass, really.
Indeed. At times during this campaign, it felt like it was the end of the people's parties, as we call them, so the SPD and the CDU-CSU. At the end, they came out easily, number 1 and 2, once again, and they have a majority together. They don't want to govern together, of course. They would like to form either a left-wing or a right-wing version of a grand coalition effectively. But if all else fails, we may still end up with a grand coalition, this time with an SPD-led rather than with a CDU-led one.
Fred, talking about the economic challenges ahead, stagnation is a real challenge, isn't it? Do you think this potential grouping coming out of all of these negotiations in a few months' time have a hope of really resolving that economic crisis, which is still very much there?
Well, as Fred noted, the country's had 16 pretty good years overall under Angela Merkel. So the people are not crying out for dramatic change, but they do want change. And that's why the Greens did so well. People know that climate change is the biggest task of us all and that it needs serious addressing. People also see that in various rankings, Germany is falling behind when it comes to new technologies, when it comes to digitalization. There's too much red tape. Planning laws are too difficult. Federalism needs to be reformed, and that's what the FDP stands for. So in an ideal world, we get continuity, but with a smidgen of reform on climate change and on digitalization. Of course, the problem is that all these parties want a lot of other things as well, and ultimately they may just neutralize each other, and we might just get political stagnation for another 4 years.
Okay, Christian Schulz. We'll see how these negotiations continue. Thank you very much indeed for joining us from Citi.